Paul Mason attacked me today in a graph that he drew, a crazed, unhinged, febrile graph that he drew to send to someone to try and inveigle the British security services and the Conservative government's Department of Media, Culture and Sport, and the Conservative government's appointed Ofcom regulator into a witch hunt of the grayzone project and named individuals in his graph. I'm mentioned quite centrally in his graph, so his learned friends will forgive me answering in kind. It's called fair comment, Paul. Look it up. It's a defense in any defamation action. Here's my fair comment. I have known Paul Mason since he was a crazed, unhinged Trotskyite from a group called Workers' Fight, which was chiefly distinguished by not having any workers in it and never actually putting up any fight. It was a weird clique, a weird sect, a small cult in a thicket of sects and cults. It was out there, far out on the edge of the forest of the 57 varieties of Trotskyism in Britain. Now, there were some good people in it. A fellow called Lee Rock springs to mind in Sheffield, a genuine class fighter. I'm not blaming him or them for Paul Mason. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to wonder if he'd infiltrated them as he later infiltrated the Corbynites themselves. I'm wondering if he was always frenziedly seeking to inveigle himself in the British security state. I'm wondering if this graph is the only graph he's ever written to be passed to the British security state. I'm wondering if these reports that are unveiled by the grey zone are the only reports that he's ever written. I'm wondering if he has been a plant in the labour movement all along. That's what I'm wondering, because how does a man go from being a Trotskyite in a frenzy to a man caught in writing, seeking to turn the British state's security services and presumably the security services of the United States against a left-wing news outfit, all in the name of a crazed anti-Russianism? You see, for Mason, everyone who's not with him is with Putin. And he's ready to name and inveigle in his plots people and organizations that thought they were his friends. Novara Media, for example, a milk and water luxury communism outfit that fucks like a champion by their own words, that actually has nothing whatsoever to do with Russia, with Putin. Or Fiona Edwards, a wonderful young woman, a credit to the Labour Party and the Labour movement. MPs like Zara Sultana and others, inoffensive, never met a Russian, never met Putin, yet they're smeared in the same graph as me and others by Paul Mason in the documents revealed today. At least we had to wait till Orwell was dead before we discovered that he'd been ratting on his friends, reporting them to MI5 and MI6, sending reports about his own friends' conversations after dinner parties and lunches in Soho. At least Orwell was spared the ignominy of his treachery being revealed whilst still alive. I wouldn't like to be Paul Mason this evening, because the revelations in the grey zone today leave him a husk, a burnt out husk, incinerated by the calibers of truth, Paul, burned to a smoking ruin, unable ever to show his face, his so-called left face at least, in British politics ever again. You need a heart of stone not to laugh. Paul Mason's service to the British state in the British Labour movement came to an end today. Sing hallelujah, at least I am.